All right, let's take a look at the papers now. Let's see what the headlines are across Nigeria. I have with me two gentlemen to make sense of what the papers are and what the headlines are this morning. Shidibumi Adebi Bennett is in the studio, as well as Dikbo Oyewole. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Mike.
Oh, you're a gentle boy. He's a gentleman. Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, let's begin with the Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says 15 years after, 42.3 billion naira Abuja-Lokoja road still work in progress. 15 years after. Okay. This is just an example of so many roads across the country that have been on, some for even more than 20 years. But we might look at this as we start along, as we open the discussion. From there, let's go to Business Day. Business Day says, as in MPA, Ministerial Power Play holds up new board for TCN. Okay, that's electricity. Let's go to national economy. Unoccupied buildings, pressure mounts for vacant home tax as housing deficit hits 22 million. We want review of tenement agreements. That's Fashola saying this as the Minister of Works. Okay, unoccupied buildings. A lot of people feel that this law and arrangement will help reduce a lot of houses that are empty in some of the large cities. Abuja, Lagos, you see so many houses are empty. No one is there. Okay, we'll talk about that too if we have the time. Moving on now to Nigeria News Direct, and it says liquidity squeeze. Banks, others borrow 4.4 trillion naira from the CBN. Liquidity squeeze. Banks, others borrow 4.4 trillion naira from the CBN. Okay. From there, let's go to the Business AM. And it says CBN holds success key to bullish calls on juicy $22.5 billion diaspora remittance for Nigeria. And analysts, World Bank sound positive notes. CBN stands on 2021 into 2022 to be major driver. All right. And the regulations, remittances, costs, downside risks. All that on the front page of the Business AM. Leadership newspaper is next. Leadership says panic in Kaduna as residents stockpile foodstuff. Panic in Kaduna as residents stockpile foodstuffs. So of course, we'll be looking at this as we open discussion too, because of the fear of the sack of thousands of civil servants in that state. Now, the Daily Times is next. Daily Times says, Babangida Jonathan tasked Buhari others on governance insecurity. Babangida Jonathan tasked Buhari others on governance insecurity. Okay. Daily Trust is next. Daily Trust says, persecuted at home, Igbo Muslims troop to north for soccer. Persecuted at home, Igbo Muslims troop to the north for soccer. More in north at present than in entire southeast. Marginalized in civil service, political appointments, and many practice Islam secretly. And there are no discriminations. Imo, Enugu governments are saying this. Okay, that's on the front page of Daily Trust. Next is the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says, insecurity, military needs new weapons and training. IBB is saying this. A former head of state or former military president, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, is saying this. Says he advises federal government but doesn't make noise about it. Right? IBB wasting his time advising Buhari. Afenifere is saying this. We're behind IBB on this. The ACF Arewa Consultative Forum is saying this. No amount of weapons without review of security infrastructure can resolve insecurity. Ohaneze is saying this. IBB's call, good but not new. The Christian Association is saying this. Don't ignore IBB. Northern Elders Forum is saying this. All right. It's all on the military needs new weapons and training, IBB has said. Moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune says, provide trained soldiers with modern weapons. IBB tells federal government. Don't ignore this advice. Northern Elders Forum urges federal government, all right, provide trained soldiers with modern weapons. IBB tells the federal government, all right. We'll have time to talk about that as well. This Day is next. This Day newspaper says, 8 southern states set to enact anti-open grazing law. Ekiti, Abia, Ebonyi, Oyo, Bayelsa face implementation challenges. And southern speakers, Ohaneze back 17 governors' resolutions. Okay, these are all on the front page of This Day newspaper. The Punch is next. Asaba resolutions, southern governors to meet Buhari after France trip. Aisha Yesufu carpets governor's critics, says nobody has monopoly of intolerance. We stand by governor's ban. Enugu Akwa Ibom is saying this. Killer herders don't move with cows. The Middle Belt Forum is saying this. Mieti Allah seeks ranching models, beg southern governors. CNG slums resolutions. You know, it's a back and forth of ideas and opinion in there. All right, that's the Punch newspaper. The Nation is next. And it says, Jonathan Okey's governors talks on national concerns. South speakers back Asaba declaration on dialogue. Others notes group kicks, and Atiku calls for summit of governors. Federal government support likely for states to develop ranches. Okay, that's the Nation newspaper. The Daily Sun is next. Open grazing ban. Others. Southern speakers back governors. Governor's decision irrevocable. Wike is saying this as the governor of River State. Ban won't work. Northern group is saying this. All right, that's Daily Sun. The Guardian is the last we're looking at right now, and it says 120 billion naira petrol subsidy to double as CBN adjusts exchange rate. All right, Nigeria losing 73.6 billion naira monthly to high consumption claims despite work from home practice. A subsidy difficult to police poses major corruption risks, says the LCCI, that's the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Deregulation, a hard choice amid inflation, pandemic, electricity tariff hike. ProShare is saying this, all right. All this on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Okay, gentlemen, let's start from, I like us to start from the story on the front page of the Vanguard and Tribune that talks about the need to provide modern equipment and training to soldiers to fight insecurity. And that call is coming from former military head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. Eshijibumi, I'm going to start with you on this. When a retired general, or a general of, for that matter, makes a statement like this, everyone believes, agrees, assumes that he's talking from a point of experience. And a call like this, of course, will draw attention to that. And someone is saying, of course, the group is saying, don't ignore this advice. I'll make you respond to that after this short break. We'll go now. And then when we come back, you will shoot with that discussion. So let's go on a break. You're watching TVC Breakfast. And we're looking at the paper review now. Stay with us. You're watching TVC Breakfast. We're looking at the headlines right now, and I have with me Shijibumi Adebi Bennett as well as Dick Boyewole in the studio. We're having a look at what's going on. Now, before we went on the break, I was asking you how this headline comes to you. The former president, former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida is coming out now with a statement to the federal government advising that government should provide training and modern equipment for the soldiers to fight insecurity.
Coming maybe later than necessary, because we all know this and we've been talking about this for a while. Though there is still a caveat there that says IBB normally advises the FG, but doesn't come in public to do that. So that's fine. And I would like to separate the message from the messenger, because when you dwell too much on the messenger, you take the substance away from the message. We all know this. I have never been a military person. I think the closest I've been to a military man was 3 weeks NYC. I'm not in the right position to really appraise what he has said. But I think everybody believes that contemporary means are very, very necessary in fighting insecurity. Just take a look at what is happening in the Middle East now. There are no combat or physical confrontation. Hamas is shooting rockets, and the Israeli army is replying them. So, and we can see the casualty, and we pray for peace in that region. So, and if you remember what happened also when this chief of Iranian army was killed, it was an unmanned drone. So, and we also saw the last time that an American was kidnapped from Niger Republic and brought into Nigeria. It was through intelligence. When Debbie killed over 1,000 Boko Haram fighters, it was intelligence, because he said that he even knew where Shekau was at that point in time. So if we still believe in all those conventional means, we're not going anywhere. We have to, like he said, new training, weapons. Weapons does not mean AK-47. Does not mean all these submachine guns.
Tanks.
Yeah. We still need that, because TVC also did a clip last week on one of your programs whereby we had this special gun truck that could shoot like 4 rounds of ammunition within seconds, and killed a lot of these guys in Borno. So we were very elated. Everybody was happy that, okay, this is a sign of progress. So we need these weapons. We need to be able to train our soldiers on contemporary means of fighting this asymmetrical war, so that we can at least save some of the funds that goes into insecurity.
All right, Dick, but the point there is Nigeria has come a long way. And when it comes to the Nigerian security agent, he's seen as one who stands out as far as the African continent is concerned.
Yes.
His capacity has never been in doubt. His intelligence has never been in doubt. Although what happens back home when they come back from any foreign trips and or any foreign assignment is a local issue that a lot of people feel that something is wrong somewhere. But there has been a call for Nigeria to develop its own mechanism, its own platform of weapon designs and all of that. We used to have all of that, DICON in those days, but weapons made by Nigeria, we're still struggling in that region.
So with regards to equipping the Nigerian military, I don't know what possible challenges the federal government is facing. Maybe it is not being dedicated to the cause, because like you said, we have a reputation on the continent. Anywhere Nigerian soldiers go, if it's a conflict region or conflict zone, we get to have things done. Unfortunately, we come back home and then it's a different story. So then you understand the confusion on the faces of our brothers and sisters on the continent when they're wondering, what is the problem? You come into our country, you get things done. But back home, you don't seem to have the same magic touch. What's the problem? So that tells us that there is quite a challenge back home, and we need to look at it. It may be an issue around intelligence. It may be an issue around training, having the relevant equipment to get things done. But I believe that at the very top, we need to do a lot more to ensure that our military personnel, our soldiers, do not sacrifice their lives in vain, that we give them all they need, all the support in terms of boosting their morale, in terms of funding, in terms of remuneration. I mean, we have a lot of soldiers that have died on the front lines, and their families are still living in serious squalor. That shouldn't be, because then where is the morale for the other families and the other folks at the front lines? So we need to do a lot better holistically across board. What IBB said isn't something new. It's not something that we haven't said here in the last couple of months, the last couple of years. But for me, I think that we need to see a lot more intentionality from the federal government, and they need to be a lot more deliberate about fighting this war and ensure that we win it, and we win it, we must.
All right. All right. Nigeria has been expecting the first batch of the Super Tucanos that a lot of people have described as having the capacity to do a lot of things at the same time.
Yes.
Well, let's wait to see how that goes. Now, let's delve from there into the story on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper that says 15 years after, 42.3 billion naira Abuja Lokoja road still work in progress. Shibumi, I know that you have traveled so many parts of the country and seen some of the roads. We know that the Bini-Ore road, for instance, has been under construction for more than or maintenance for more than 20 years. We have also the Enugu-Port Harcourt road. We also have the Enugu-Oka road. You know, there are roads like that, even the Abuja-Makurdi road to Cross River and all of that. There are so many roads. The Lagos-Ibadan expressway has still been... Talk to us, what do you feel about this?
In the last 1 year, I think I've been on Enugu-Port Harcourt road. I've been on Lagos-Benin road. Bini-Ore road.
Yeah.
I've been on Lagos-Ibadan expressway so many times. So the story is the same. And that was why I said I didn't want to focus on them, on the messenger the other time. We do not plan ahead in this country because for reference, for IBB, he also contributed to what we have playing out now. Because what was the investment in the Air Force? All through his 8 years. We know the reasons. You know, these people came in through coup, and anybody that kills with the sword will not even want a cutlass to come near his neck. So what was the investment even into the army? So it's a projection. The problem of tomorrow has to be seen today. Since 1999, what is the one tangible project that any government in Nigeria has done? IBB can still point to Third Mainland Bridge, can point to Aso Rock. So since 1999, I want a government to say this is a landmark project that I've done. None
Actually, no signature project.
None has started a project and ended it. Good Luck tried with the Benin and Ore axis of that Shagamu road. And what we've been saying...
But it's still maintenance. It's nothing new.
No, there's a part that was really reconstructed. But from Ore to Shagamu, Ijebu, the axis, it has been maintenance.
Still,
We can see a bit of, seriousness on Lagos-Ibadan. Because from the Ibadan end to Ogiri is like 90 or 95% complete. Infrastructure, you can say this government has shown a bit of seriousness than others, but what they can gain there has been lost to insecurity. So you just see a lot of all, and come to think of it, impunity. Off camera we're talking about so many factors affecting the Nigerian polity. Impunity is a key one that we didn't mention, because if people are really punished for what they do, and people can see that they are punished for what they do, that it's also a restraining factor. Too. Yes. So when you just saw last week on Abuja Kaduna axis, the railway, people went there, destroyed everything.
Let me tell you personally what I felt. I felt like these guys, by the time they finish convicting them and they investigate, and it's true that they were, guilty of that, I need to get a cane so I can flog them myself first.
No, the question you should ask is, where are they going to sell it to? What will I use a rail track to do? What will you use a rail track to do?
They'll melt it down.
They could melt it into different things.
Okay.
Because the point there is, we understand there are local blacksmiths now who... just melt those things and then they use them for weapons and all of
these
that.
Are all, and it's affecting the government is failing us every day. The people are failing themselves every day. So it's just a combined effort in destroying the nation.
Yeah, Dipo, I wonder what your perspective is to this, because many of these road projects, or even signature projects for that matter, when they are not completed within their time frames, because of the inflation rate, the companies or contractors would demand more money because what was signed and what was given at that time cannot take care of the actual cost of things right now. Logically.
Yes.
So how dangerous are these things, and what impact is it having in the long run on the economy of Nigeria?
So you find that, like you said, inflation, different factors come into play. You budgeted 10 million naira for a project, and then you don't get it done in record time. And then by the time you review it again, because of inflation and different costs, it comes to 40 million. So you find that we keep having to pay 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount we're supposed to pay for a particular project, which is where I'd like to take it from what Shijibomi said about visionary leadership, and where there's a lack of consequences in our society. Off camera, we're talking about different challenges, like he said. And then I said that part of the reasons why we have what we have as a people, with the different challenges we have, we saw something around child abuse, is that there is a lack of consequences. We do not have a culture of accountability. We see it in our politics, we see it in our politics, and we see it with our politicians, where you see someone that embezzled so much money, money to build hospitals, schools, and then they get a slap on the wrist, and then we believe that will serve as a deterrent. It doesn't work that way. It's just basic human nature. It isn't a Nigerian thing. It is a human nature. That is why we keep calling for institutions to be built, institutions that are more powerful than individuals. But that being said, with regards to this work in progress for 15 years, I don't understand how you can say something is a work in progress for 15 years without any consequences as to how this is supposed to be completed. All right,
we'll leave it there now and hope that now that the searchlight is on this, government will try to, work on this and then move ahead. And to be fair to government, the rail tracks have been laid, and anyone who comes to begin to remove those things just for whatever reason is outright sabotage. All right, thank you very much, Dick Boyewale, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Shijibomi, thank you very much for coming as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right.